What's going on, everyone, and welcome to Movie Emporium's movie review of Poser, the newest film from director Dixon and Segev. Now, before we begin, if you like this channel, awesome, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium, hit that notification bell at the top to find out what's coming next. If you like any of the videos, awesome, hit that like button as well as comment below any video that you watch, including this one. So we continue down the journey that is the Nightstream Film Festival. Today we're talking about Poser, which actually was filmed in my home city of Columbus, Ohio. We have a character named Lennon who's played by Sylvie Mix, and Lennon is what we consider a wolf in sheep's clothing as the story plays out. She's very reserved, she's very quiet as the movie begins. She narrates through podcasts that she's doing to kind of interview the whole underground music scene that she's very much into. But we have this kind of narration voiceover work that is very similar to what Patrick Bateman does in American Psycho. So I started comparing the two because not the simple fact that what he does compared to what she does, but they're very much in the same line where they have a personality on the outside and a very dark personality on the inside. And so therefore she's recording podcasts, she's stealing music, she's trying to get into this music scene to become, you know, one of the cool people, I guess you could say, as, you know, the hipster route. And she finds herself in the sights of this group called Damn the Witch Siren, which is an actual band from Columbus, Ohio, which include people like Bobbi, Kitten, and Z-Wolf, which actually play themselves in this movie. And she starts to almost kind of mimic, similar to like what Scarlett Johansson does in Under the Skin, starts to mimic Bobbi Kitten's kind of persona in a lot of aspects. She starts imagining herself as Bobbi Kitten. She starts to kind of form this relationship, which becomes extremely dark and extremely disturbing, and we start to see kind of the underlying nature of who, you know, this character of Lennon is, and how, you know, she's one of those people, like a lot of people, who just really want to be in the it scene, in the end scene and stuff like that, and she just wants to be part of the it crowd. And there are a lot of people like that. There's a lot of people exactly like this that will go to any routes and any lengths to be part of that in crowd. But the way the story plays out is a little bit different than what some people will do. And I'll kind of leave it at that. You know, it's a story just about a woman, as the title pronounces, is a poser, is somebody that is a fake, somebody who wants something that somebody else has and gets really angry that she doesn't have it and tries to find her way into it. And so with that said, this movie is really interesting because it plays out like a hipster drama. This young girl is, you know, taking notes and doing a podcast, and, you know, we find out a little bit later that she's like stealing the music and stuff like that. And then it turns, as soon as Bobbi Kitten's character comes into the mix, it starts to turn into something more sinister and dark. And at first, I was not really into this movie, to be fairly honest. I liked the concept of, you know, being filmed in Columbus, Ohio. That made it a little more exciting for me. But I just felt like the story was kind of falling apart. I wasn't really invested in Lennon. I didn't really understand what the concept was going on. I know it was just, you know, about her in the underground music scene. But when it gets into the darkness that is the light version of Patrick Bateman in American Psycho, that's when the story kind of clicks for me, because it truly shows you the nature of what one individual can be like if they're a truly disturbed individual or a truly dangerous individual, how they can corrupt, you know, other people, how other people are trying to be something unique and something talented, and you have somebody behind them who's just trying to throw themselves into the mix, and that's a very scary and dangerous thing. And that's when this movie became something truly special and truly nail-biting and truly uncomfortable but unnerving, and really found its footing. And that's when I really just got on board with the film. So I mean, it takes a little while for this movie to get going, but once it gets going, once you see exactly what Lennon's character is capable of, I really felt this movie was a fantastic look into a dangerous mind in a lot of aspects. And I give a lot of credit to the directors, you know, Dixon and Segev, because they're individuals who, this is their first film. They haven't done anything before. This film premiered at Tribeca, which is an amazing thing to have happen for you. What makes it even more impressive is a lot of people who put out their first films, they're usually amateurish. They're not very good. They don't have any substance. It takes a while for somebody, you know, to create their voice, I guess you could say. And to have two directors who, you know, I'm sure they did a lot of shorts beforehand, or they did a lot of interesting stuff, to have this be their like first true film is actually remarkable. It's a pretty impressive feat, and I give them a lot of credit because, you know, the way they shoot the film, the way they have this character progress itself, the dialogue, the acting, even Bobbi Kitten, who is, you know, a musician, which musicians a lot of times will not be very great actors, is fantastic in this movie. She's one of those people that will become an up and rising star, either a musician or an actress. And I just give a lot of credit for that, you know, that drive that these directors have put into this film. And on top of that, Sylvie Mix is a rising star of her own right, because she's so fantastic and scary and just insane in this movie, but she's so good at what she's doing. It's a perfect role for something that will be noticeable for the future, but it's also a movie that gives me a little bit of nostalgia for the simple fact that there are many shots which look at downtown Columbus, and I'm like, oh, I know that, I know this, I know this location is like real close to where I grew up, and it's a real fun thing to see. You know, that's it's not really makes the movie any better or any worse, but in that aspect I really enjoyed that. So, and one more thing before I end this review, the music in this movie is 100% realistic. It's 100% real. All the bands are real. It makes it for a more naturalistic, more realistic approach to a movie. So if you were to go to Columbus or, you know, these small cities or something like that, this is something that you could probably find somewhere in the city, not in that particular location, but you could find somewhere in the city and get the same vibes and so on and so forth. So I give the directors a lot of credit for giving us a realistic scenario, which is underground music and whatnot, which is always fascinating to listen to because you find some really cool bands that come out of there. So, but other than that, that's pretty much been my take on this film, Poser. Like I said, it's definitely a highlight of the film festival, which is already has a lot of highlights in its, you know, its cavalcade of films that it's coming out with this year. So definitely give it a check out. Like I said, it's more on the light side of American Psycho, but it has those vibes and so on and so forth. So, but anyways, that'll do it. That'll be my take on Poser. Thank you so much for watching. Comments below. Have you seen this film? Are you interested in seeing this film now? What's a film that you like that deals with like a wolf in sheep's clothing that type of scenario? So, anyways, that'll do it. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome. Hit that like button, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.